Matt Bradley, let's talk about what we're learning now this hour about the funeral and the days leading up to the funeral as well. We know, I believe, September 19th, Monday, September 19th is when the funeral will actually take place. The Queen will also lie in state at Westminster in the 4 days leading up to that. What can we expect from that?
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts coming up here, Yasmin. And, the one thing you mentioned, the date of the funeral, that was something we more or less already knew. But in the last couple of hours, that was confirmed. And that's obviously a big piece of information. It has a lot of practical impact for a lot of people who live here because it's going to determine when there's a bank holiday, essentially, and when people are going to be going back to work, when the period of mourning ends officially. And so these are important details. They're also so essential to the pageantry. That really is what the royal family does best. So, and I hope you're seeing this on your screen right now. I'm going to rattle through what we heard today. Starting tomorrow, the Queen's coffin goes to the Palace of Holyrood House. That is actually the royal family's official residence in Scotland. It's in Edinburgh. Balmoral, where the Queen died, that's not the official residence. That's actually private property belonging to the family members, to the royal family. It's not an official state residence for the royal family. But after that, there will be, on September 12th, a memorial service at St. Giles Cathedral in Scotland, also in Edinburgh. And that's when, on September 13th, the Queen's coffin will go to Buckingham Palace, near where I am standing right now. And it will be lying in state very briefly in the Bow Room. And it's on September 14th. The Queen will be transferred to Westminster Hall, right behind me. And then the following day, it's Westminster Abbey. That is where we have, excuse me, not the following day. After 4 days of lying in state, then she goes to Westminster Abbey. That's when there's the funeral. And then her casket is transferred over to Windsor Castle. And after that, she'll be interred alongside her husband. But, the reason, Yasmin, why I'm saying that there's a lot of moving parts to this is because the new king is doing his own mission. This is something completely different. What I just described was Operation London Bridge. The new king, he's doing Operation Spring Tide. Now, this is an effort to send the king in the first days of his reign to all of the 4 constituent countries of the United Kingdom. So that's be England, where I'm standing right now, Scotland, where the Queen's casket or the Queen's body is right now, and then Northern Ireland and Wales. So in the next couple of days, you're going to see the king going around as he's mourning the recent death of his mother. You're going to see him visiting people as the new king, introducing himself essentially to his realm. And if it sounds like a fairy tale, it's because that's where fairy tales come from. This is a king introducing himself to his subjects in the most magnanimous way he possibly can. This is a changing of the guard. Again, we haven't seen this in 70 years, and that's what makes it so extraordinary to see this very contemporary, very modern twist on a ritual that has been going on, has been designed and redesigned for about 1,000 years. Yasmin?
let's move now to some breaking news we have to share out of Ukraine. That is where Russia has confirmed it is pulling back forces from 2 areas in the Kharkiv region, and it comes after Ukrainian forces this week staged quite a successful counteroffensive in the area and have recaptured 2 key cities. NBC's Megan Fitzgerald is in Kyiv following this for us. Megan, let's get the latest on this, and how significant do you read Russia's withdrawal from the area?
Yeah, I can tell you this is incredibly significant. We have not seen this type of advancement from Ukrainian troops since the beginning of the war, since April, when they were able to drive out the Russians from the Kyiv area. Now, keep in mind, the Russian Ministry of Defense is saying that this is all part of the plan, right? Like they wanted to pull these troops back and redirect them to the Donetsk region to reinforce that area. Overnight, keep in mind, we heard from the president of Ukraine, President Zelensky, saying that just within about 2 weeks' time, since they started this counteroffensive back in August of 29th, so just less than 2 weeks, they've been able to recapture some 1,000 square miles of territory. So we're talking about some 30 settlements in the Kharkiv area, in the northeastern area, but also down in the southern region near Kherson, saying that they've recaptured several settlements, several territories there. So this is very significant. And, you know, we've heard from Secretary Blinken. He was just in town the other day, and he said, look, this is, a good example of how American weaponry is actually working in this war. And so this is significant because of the length of time, too. You know, we're talking about less than 2 weeks. But we also know that this is a race against time. The Ukrainians understand that they need to take back as much territory from the Russians as they possibly can, because winter is about to set in. And then that's a game changer. There's also video that's been released showing the emotion behind this. The Ukrainians who realize that they've been liberated from the Russians, running to these Ukrainian troops to hug them, tearfully thanking them for their work. And, of course, the secretary praising the men and women on the front lines here in Ukraine for the hard work that they've done and the advancements that they've made.
All right. Well, certainly it looks like a couple steps forward right now. Let's hope there's not one step taken backward on this front. Thank you so much, Megan Fitzgerald from Kyiv.
A poll by YouGov done at the time of the Platinum Jubilee just this last May found that 62% of Britons said their country should continue to have a monarchy in the future, with only 22% saying it should instead move to having an elected head of state. But there's a stark generational divide. Asked if the monarchy is, quote, good for Britain, 74% of those 65 and up say yes. 67% of those 50 to 64. But ages 25 to 49, the number drops to 49. And among the 18 to 24-year-olds, it's just 24%. Today's front page of the New York Times has this headline: in London, mourning for Queen exposes a generational divide. Support for monarchy fades among the youth. There's a chance that post-Elizabeth, the affection for the whole system may splinter. Some of that may just be youthful hostility that could soften over time. Look no further than England's new Prime Minister herself. Back in 1994, Liz Truss gave a fiery speech calling for the end of the monarchy.
We do not believe that people should be born to rule, or that they should put up and shut up about decisions that affect their everyday lives. We met another group of people and another group of people, and all 3 groups of people said, abolish the monarchy. In fact conference, we couldn't find a single monarchist outside the Royal Pavilion. How ironic.
Now, of course, in her new position of power, Truss ended her public condolence speech for the Queen on Thursday with "God Save the King," a phrase that hasn't been uttered in England for 7 decades.
I'll double check. Try and get around every hand. Bye everyone, thank you so much. Thank you everyone.